It's no secret that WWE is in its midst of its second boom after the Attitude Era in the current day and age, with growing characters like Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, and even if you want to go a little bit younger, you got Rhea Ripley and Carmelo Hayes, and all of them have been primed for feuds all year. And one of the most exciting ones to me was after Mania, they were setting up Liv Morgan versus Rhea Ripley, two of my favorite superstars in this current day and age. That was until Liv Morgan accidentally injured Rhea Ripley in a freak accident the Raw after WrestleMania. It put a lot of question marks up in the air when Rhea Ripley vacated the title, and it eventually went to Becky Lynch in a battle royale, and then eventually made its way to Liv Morgan. This was exciting to me, which means that they were priming for a Rhea Ripley return and priming for that feud to officially begin. There's a lot of history with Rhea Ripley and Liv Morgan. They were a part of a tag team back in 2022 before Rhea Ripley joined the Judgment Day and Liv for Brutality. A fantastic tag team. They were at WrestleMania together. It was a fan favorite group. In the 2023 Royal Rumble, Rhea Ripley had eliminated Liv Morgan. Rhea Ripley had to continuously attack Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez's tag team, and it was priming for a blood feud, a feud based off betrayal, based off deceit, based off of pure, uninterrupted anger. That was until a man named Dominic Mysterio poked his head into this feud. Over the months that Rhea Ripley had been gone, Liv Morgan had been continuously teasing Dominic Mysterio, flirting with him and other things to get under the skin of the Judgment Day. And honestly, a lot of fans, and including myself, thought this was complete deceit. This is Liv Morgan and Finn Balor, who have had an alliance in the past, teaming up together and trying to break up the Judgment Day as we know it. This did work. This was part of the plan. But what most fans that aren't shippers weren't expecting is that Dominic Mysterio would be part of that issue. And that's not a bad thing. Dominic Mysterio being part of this feud to increase the anger, increase the deception and betrayal, absolutely perfect. Rhea Ripley has a history of people she trusts and loves betraying her, or in a way where she has to betray them, like with Liv Morgan, with Raquel Rodriguez, Dakota Kai, amongst a long list of others. The thing is that Dominic Mysterio is different. He was a plaything for Rhea Ripley for the longest time, and I think even until she got injured, he was a plaything for her to kind of play around with and eventually become a family member of the Judgment Day, to increase their ranks and to increase their power. And honestly, I think that the betrayal should have been a long-lasting reminder rather than the driving force of the feud. That's what became of this feud. Dominic Mysterio became the driving force for this feud, and they forgot about everything else. Liv Morgan and Rhea Ripley have an intense history, like I mentioned before, that they could have dived into, that they could have used to increase the blood feud of this. This could have reached ranks of CM Punk versus Drew McIntyre for the women's division, and instead they decided to make this a love triangle, lover's betrayal type deal, and lean to Bash in Berlin, which kind of worked. Dominic Mysterio and Liv Morgan faced off against Damian Priest and Rhea Ripley at Bash in Berlin, and it was a great match. It was fine. It worked for the story that we're telling, and it could have increased Rhea Ripley and Liv Morgan's blood feud even more, even though they were still pushing into the Dominic Mysterio angle. The issue here comes with Bad Blood. Bad Blood happened over the last weekend, and it was a fine show. CM Punk and Drew McIntyre put on a match of the year candidate. It was a fantastic show for a pure entertainment standpoint. The issue with Bad Blood is that this was supposed to be the conclusion of this feud, or at least be the conclusion of the singles part of this feud. This could have gone to War Games, perfectly fine, whatever. The issue here is it didn't end the feud outright. They used Dominic Mysterio as, again, the pivot point for this feud, which they no longer care about the history of Liv Morgan and Rhea Ripley that they were pushing into at the 2023 Royal Rumble, at the angle at WrestleMania 40. It was all a part of Liv Morgan and Rhea Ripley's history until Dominic Mysterio poked his head into it. And that's what really dragged down this match. Dominic Mysterio became the center point. It's fine for him to be part of this match at the shirt cage because he keeps interrupting matches, he keeps interfering on Liv's behalf. It makes perfect sense. The thing is, they made him the center point. Everything around in this match revolved around him rather than the two women having the match together. They were having a great match until Dominic Mysterio fell out of the cage, and all of a sudden, Rhea Ripley, who is literally brutality itself, decided to lose track of time, apparently align herself with the ref, being like, "Hey, I gotta go do this. You're good, right?" And the ref let it happen for whatever reason. Don't know why. And she became distracted and started attacking Dominic Mysterio while Liv Morgan had been down. So this feud has now turned into a Rhea Ripley and Dominic Mysterio feud, which can work. Again, it's just the fact that this has taken over the Liv Morgan and Rhea Ripley story where it shouldn't have. Like, it is so clearly there is such a clear line for Rhea Ripley and Liv Morgan in this feud, but for whatever reason they keep shying away from the actual fact of the matter of these two women should hate each other, not for the reasons that they are saying. They should hate each other for the betrayal, for the attacks, for the vitriol between the two, but instead of a man who Rhea Ripley had viewed as a plaything for the most of the last 2 years. And Liv Morgan was using him as a plaything until Rhea Ripley had returned. She was using Dominic Mysterio to get under Rhea Ripley's skin instead of being actually interested in him, and that's what's changed. They've changed it from using Dominic Mysterio as a tool to continue this feud into higher and higher stakes, but they've turned this into now Dominic Mysterio is the driving force of the feud, rather than another reason for Rhea Ripley and Liv Morgan to hate each other. And that's the issue with things. When you look at CM Punk and Drew and even fucking Seth in that feud, all three of those men hate each other for different reasons, and they hate each other equally. Rhea Ripley and Liv Morgan in this feud do not hate each other for the last 2 years. They hate each other because of Dominic Mysterio, because of a man who should not be in this feud in any other way besides as a tool for Liv Morgan and Rhea Ripley. That's it. It should never be over him. It should never be as a love triangle. It should have always been as a driving force, and it has ruined this feud. After Dominic Mysterio had fallen out of that cage and Raquel Rodriguez had returned, whatever, don't really care about Raquel at this point in time. No one Atlanta did either. This feud has now come to a standstill. This is when you're in WWE 2K, you're setting up a feud, and now it's all of a sudden stale. It's ruined both momentums. Liv Morgan, Rhea Ripley had been on top. Rhea Ripley had 2023 in her hands. Like, that was her year, and honestly, she was a top money maker. She was the woman to be messed with. Like, even Thor was recognized as Rhea Ripley as one of the best draws in WWE behind Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns. But now all of a sudden, Liv Morgan had taken control of the reins, obviously, because Rhea Ripley had gotten hurt. Makes sense. She was on top of the world. Everyone loved her. Everyone was starting to get with Liv Morgan and enjoy what she had to offer, finally, after years and years of people trying to get her to push. And now all of a sudden, we're here at October, and both women do not know what to do, and all of a sudden it has stalled the women's division entirely on Raw. Women's division on SmackDown is doing perfectly fine with the Nia Jax, Tiffany Stratton, Bianca Belair, Bayley, all that is doing perfectly fine, but all of a sudden the Raw women's division is now at a standstill. No one knows what to do. They don't know where to go forward with this. Liv Morgan is maybe getting another, Rhea Ripley is now getting another shot at Liv Morgan's title possibly. There's no, it's come to an issue where they are no longer defending the title. Liv Morgan is no longer defending the title on TV. She has 4 defenses in total. One was to Becky Lynch after she reinstated her rematch clause. One to Zelina Vega randomly in July. And now 2 to Rhea Ripley. And no one else has gotten a shot when you have people like Io Sky. You have people like Lyra Valkyria. You have wonderful talents on Raw right there to have plenty of great, outstanding matches, but now you are stuck on this feud because you will not end it when people are asking for it to be over, because all of a sudden a money feud. You had a money feud in your hands, and you fumbled it away for a stupid love triangle that should never have existed in the first place. That's the issue when it comes to this feud. It has now become it's bigger than both Rhea Ripley and Liv Morgan itself, which is fine. That's what a good feud should be, but it's in the worst way possible because it has stalled the women's division on Raw. No one knows where to go from here. It's come to a fact where people want Liv Morgan to drop because now it's become a terrible reign because they keep forcing it down our throats in the worst way possible. They keep making the wrong decisions when it comes to this feud. And honestly, I hope they do better. They need to do better because this feud is just not it anymore.